man.
Oh, jeez.
Did you just wake up?
I feel you, man. This is a rough night for me. The baby does not want to sleep. What's your excuse?
I don't have one. I do not have baby at home.
Last week on Baywatch. On Feywatch.
Last week.
Why didn't we call it Feywatch?
Did you just wake up at like 4:20 in the morning?
It was just one of those things.
Baywatch!
In slow motion runs. Like Jastian running in slow motion. Gord like clanking in slow motion. All right. We're ready.
All right. Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to the Peak. I am Tony. I'm here with my friend Ben, who plays Jastian. I play Gord, and we're here to talk FEY, to talk about the last two episodes that happened, episodes 7 and 8, and we are going to start it out with our 1 minute.
We're talking way later. We're talking about 13 and 14.
We're talking about 13 and 14. I just watched 7, 8, and 9.
For those playing the game at home, that's how far ahead we are in filming versus releasing.
We're here to do some talking FEY and have a little talk back about episode 13 and 14, the last two episodes that we just went through. So we're going to start it off with our minute recap.
Timing as always.
30 seconds apiece.
All right, are you starting? Am I starting? Am I starting? I'll start.
You start.
All right. Here we go. 1 minute on the clock. Go. All right, so we were hanging out, waiting to talk to the dwarven wizard that Lorbum Honeygut was going to get us, but he was going to be here for 2 days, so we were like, well, let's not hang out at the meadery for 2 days, especially because there was no mead. So we went back to town, back to Aeredale, and sort of did a little bit of a shopping trip. We got some more health potions, commissioned some additional health potions. We're starting to learn our lesson. We went to the blacksmiths, and then we went to go see the wizard.
And the blacksmiths were from the Thorn Shoe, which we liked. He was in half orc, super nice. He was going to do the cold iron for us, and the flawless blade. He was kind of a dick, so we just cruised out of there.
Yeah, we
saw Puddin' Pop. He made some puddin' pops, but they were awful. Then we headed back up and talked to the wizard. Figured out that one of the dwarfs was missing. The wizard let us talk to an archfey. Had 5 questions. Can't remember what the questions were, but then we finally tracked down the other dwarf. Went to a cave. Fought some more bushes. Saw some evil elf.
That's it.
People.
That's everything that happened. So there was a lot that obviously that was a thorough and complete rundown of what happened in the last 2 episodes of Into the Fae. Speaking of, if you haven't pre-ordered your module, make sure you check it out. The link's in the description below to Luke Hart of the DM Lair, his Kickstarter, where you can pre-order this module and play it in your own D&D group. But in our D&D group, there was a lot that happened, man, in those last episodes. Like,
It was a lot of what's like housekeeping to some extent.
There was a lot of that.
Reconnecting contacts, making sure that we were like on the next step as far as in town is concerned. With health potions, with our cold iron stuff that we just heard about that we need to get.
Which I think it's worth mentioning that yours is going to be shaped like a giant carrot. Which I really hope that when you turn it around and hit it with the pointy end, it's
sticking with
piercing damage somehow. I don't know what that would be.
So Mauls do 2d6. Maybe it's like a 1d6 piercing, 1d6 bludgeoning, something.
Oh, okay.
Something weird like that. We'll have to ask Nick if he's able to do
extra
that,
carrot damage. So we met 2 new NPCs. I was like POSs, but we met 2 new NPCs.
One was a POS.
Yeah, one was the half orc of the flawless. I'm getting him confused. He was at the Throne Shoe, and he was a half orc guy, and I liked Nick. That was a fun interaction. But the guy before him, who was an elf, maybe.
I don't know what he was.
I think all elves are dicks.
He was an elf.
If he's proving the point with my dad and him being the only elves we've interacted with,
and the ones in the cave, eventually.
Right, but they're like
later.
weird elves though. They're like leafy, viney elves.
Oh, that's true.
They're like I am Groot and Elf had a baby. We did that, and the flawless blade was the guy who was like, according to the blah 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 manual, I can't just make things out of iron for you. That's ridiculous.
Why would I do that when I can do steel?
And Max just like drops his popsicle. We out. like screw that guy. We're done.
Because we stopped by Puddin' Pops and he actually had Puddin' Pops ready to go.
They were terrible.
But they were terrible.
Just terrible.
They were. I don't know exactly what was going on.
I just wanted like a chocolate or a vanilla, but he's like, here's talcum powder. I don't know. It was bad.
But yes, Max was just sitting in the flawless blades.
Letting that thing melt
lobby.
right on the floor. It was already kind of melting to begin with. He hadn't figured those things out yet at all. But.
No, he didn't. But hopefully
So then
next time.
we did go back and we did do a lot of thought once we finally got. It was, we finished up our business in town. We went back to the meadery to talk with crazy cousin Ed, who I think had 3 other names at that point. We had called him like the wonderful wizard of Ed, the wonderful, and then it was
Bob.
Bob. It was Bob.
We referred to him as Bob for a little bit.
And I don't remember, but it was like the wonderful wizard named Bob. And I forget which one we went with, but it was very funny. I don't think he knew his own name, to be quite honest. Do you remember the 5 questions that we asked?
Shoot.
Something about my father came up.
Definitely something about your father.
Jastian's father.
I cannot. I don't know if I can remember.
There was something
the 5
about
questions.
the white stag, I think. That was the thing. That was sort of the message we kept getting was follow the white stag, follow the white stag. And I was like, oh, okay.
And I think we did get an answer to that. The stag is representative of something.
It was like, what does the white stag represent? Maybe that was one of the questions. But we found out that it was like an archfey, maybe the king of the archfey.
Right.
A king of the summer court, I should say. So we talked, and then we went and we started going.
Well, we were looking for the dwarf that was missing.
Right, one of the dwarves.
When we first got there was missing. Wizard still hadn't shown up yet, so we kind of perused the land to see if we could pick up a trail. Right when we did, Crazy Ed was like, "Hey, I'm here."
Yes.
So we went back to Crazy Ed real quick.
And then we started. Yeah. So then we sort of got some answers to our questions, some weird answers. I had a dream that night. I think it was that night. It was during this whole shebang.
The 2 days off.
Yeah, during our 2 days off, I had a dream about killing my tutor.
Oh yeah,
that was crazy. And then and then something about
Mary.
We've all had like horrible dreams, and I woke up, and I was like, oh.
My dream was the beats. Beats were attacking me.
Yours, Max's, was about the bees.
The bees were attacking him. Beats were attacking me. Everything with a B and 2 E's are attacking one of us.
And then mine was obviously the Beatles.
There you go. Continuing with a
bardic music group that I'm familiar with in town. And
so we tracked the dwarf.
We went down. We tracked him, and then he was like in love with LL. Like he'd have written his name. He was like
we found a
charmed. I think he was charmed and lured into this cave, and then we went into the cave, and I was distrustful of the whole thing because like. I don't know. It was very sketchy. They were like, "Oh, hey, no, you guys, what are you doing? We have this whole place is trapped on the inside. Don't worry about it. It's just security. It's basic security. Why don't you guys come on in to our evil lair? Just come on in, and we won't hurt you. I promise. We'll take you right to our leader right now." And Jastian was not about that day. He's been, twice burned. He said, "Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool can't fool again."
And it's really funny because Gord, he was very confused because he's been trying to learn not to just kill everything that we come across.
And then that's what Jastian did.
And then you did yes. We just completely switched roles because we got there, Ellensworth scouted ahead, huge screaming mushroom just like unleashed the alarm. Bushes came out, so we were like, "Oh, we've dealt with these, so we'll kill these." And then the 2 elf people came out, and Ellensworth was trying to kind of talk to him, and I was like,
"It's bullshit.
Wait a second. Okay, we're talking here, so let's not do my maul yet." And then Jastian was like, "Nope, we're just gonna take care of this."
I had a weird feeling about it. I was just like, I don't trust these guys. I mean, they're weird fey creatures. What we learned, they're nothing's as it seems when it comes to the fey.
Clearly.
The Vex Mortem. So I think, and then the other dudes were in the other room waiting to like jump us anyway. So
also true.
So once we got rid of those dudes, we tried to and then they were like, "Okay, good."
The card trick that Ellensworth had was pretty sweet. He got the cards with the invisible mage hand, brought them back to himself. So then when they tried to do something, he would just
Is
with the
this your
cards.
card?
So that we could have some surprise elements so that
Distracting.
we're not jumped. We could kind of get a jump on them.
Right.
So
right.
ended up working out, I think pretty well.
Did we
but-
end right before we started that combat?
No, we dispatched.
We did. We
did.
were sort of like hanging out in that cave and about to go further in.
Yeah, we just dispatched them.
Oh, man.
Kind of figured out that, like, okay, it's evil. Kind of figured out that was probably a good thing that they didn't take us back to their leader with all of them around us.
Right.
So
Then-
now we can kind of meander and get.
I'm just saying, if we had to get out of there, at this point, we could still get out of there. Like,
Absolutely.
but if we were all the way in like the boss room, like
With 10, 20,
with
40
all
of these
of them,
guys,
like
who
that
knows?
fight gets a lot harder to get out of there all of a sudden.
So now we get to kind of thin the crowd as we go through the cave.
Yeah.
Finding.
Or we'll just alert all of them to our presence, and it'll be an impossible fight anyway. We'll be trapped, and they'll just kill us outright.
I
It'll be
mean,
fun.
all of those mushrooms, I'm sure there's more
Yeah.
of those. So when we
Yeah.
come across those, we have to silence them somehow.
Maybe Mage Hand could like squish it. That'd be funny.
So I'm curious, how many sessions do you guys think will be in this cave? What do we,
Oh, at least 2 more. I think it's going to be the entirety of next recording session.
Yep.
Which we usually get about 2 episodes per session, and I think it's going to be almost the entirety, if not the entirety of the next one, and possibly the next. I mean, I
Maybe.
don't know.
It would be cool if we do end at like the
general-
boss fight, like
Yeah.
boom, episode end at a boss fight,
That
and
would-
then we
that would be cool.
and then we pick it up at a boss fight.
We sort of like we saw a general overview of the map, and it's huge. It's huge,
It's
Luke.
huge.
Luke, it's huge. I mean, I guess generally, like, our characters have no idea how big it is. You might.
I might, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
as a
true. 'cause
dwarf,
I'm
you have all that underground stuff. You can know where you are, and like you
Could.
might be able to tell like how far away these tunnels are and stuff. Maybe
yeah,
I don't
just
know.
Put,
That's something
put my
to think
ear against the.
about. Yeah, like, this is another 25 feet, and then there's another larger room on the other side of this wall.
And there's about 6 people there, and we're gonna have to dispatch them.
Suddenly he's just Daredevil underground. It's just like he could see everything. That's awesome.
That would be great. A lot of housekeeping, and then just starting a really big dungeon.
Really big dungeon crawl. Hopefully getting some more answers on what the Vex Mortem have planned for the fine folk of Aeredale, and Potato Squad will take them out.
Hashtag potatoes.
Hashtag Potato Squad. Well, hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Talking Fae. If you haven't caught up on all of the episodes that we were talking about today, you can catch them up here. We'll put a link in the doobly-doo and in the doobly-doo. So make sure you check it out. And thanks again for Tony for being here. And I'm Ben. Make sure you like and subscribe subscribe to the channel, like this video, cast Big B's thumbs up and hit that notification bell.
Nice wardings and stuff.
Really selling it.
Catch you next time.
Next week on Fey Watch.
On Fey Watch.